Hi Cancer, welcome to your mid-October 2019 General Tarot Reading Update. It's Raina here. You got your card as the last card. So several major arcana cards, the last three that I drew actually. The heart of the matter is the Nine of Wands. This can be setting boundaries, and this can feel very strong, self-empowering for you. Maybe you have realize that you have to let somebody know where you stand about something, and I'm getting like a relationship that could be described as an affair. Now you may not see it that way, but another party might have different ideas. In the past position, we have the Knight of Wands. This is a card that's associated with Sagittarius, although I associate it with Aries, because I think of the warrior. And definitely with the Wands, we're talking about fire energy. So let's throw in Leo too. But this card is associated with somebody who may have commitment issues. Cancer is a sign that's associated with commitment. So that's not going to go over very well with the average Cancer. And especially since most of my audience is going to be women, I have a hard time believing that a Cancer woman is going to be thrilled with a man who has commitment issues. That's going to be kind of sort of like your worst nightmare. However, here's the catch. Aries, being another cardinal sign, is somebody that you may find yourself drawn to. I'm just using Aries as an example. Doesn't mean that this is the person's sign. But what I'm saying is that as a fire sign, as is true of all fire signs actually, and air signs, they tend to be a little bit commitment phobic. Doesn't mean that they can't make good partners though. But the idea of settling down can feel threatening to such people, primarily because they love freedom. And freedom means the freedom to come and go and not have to be stuck answering to somebody else. It could be that simple. So it has nothing to do with love, but simply that feeling of autonomy. That sometimes relationships can kind of come in between a little bit. The higher message is the Ten of Cups. This is a card that one of the cards that is really associated with marriage. And, you know, you could say, when I say marriage, a committed relationship, a serious relationship, a permanent relationship. The pot at the end of the rainbow. And you see this almost looks like the toast at the reception or something like that. But what I think this means as the spiritual message for Cancer is, think about your end game. What are you looking for? If you're not looking for an affair, then don't have an affair. Don't have a relationship that's more of an affair than an actual serious partnership. And, you know, act in the way that you wish to, what you wish to manifest, which is pretty much common sense in a way, you know. when you think about it. When you act in a way that really is in alignment with what you're looking for, the ability to manifest it is going to be obviously that much greater than if you just don't pay attention to what you're doing in connection with what you want. In other words, if you're having an affair with somebody, if you got physically involved with somebody early on, maybe prematurely, and really, if you're honest with yourself, it was mainly because you were hoping that it would lead to something permanent, and yet you notice that it just kind of stays at that one level and it doesn't really progress into anything else, then you have to ask yourself, why did I engage in the very behavior that ensured I wouldn't get what I wanted? Why did I think that was going to lead to me getting what I wanted? When, it was more like, I was treating this situation like a one-night stand instead of really developing something personal with somebody. What crosses you is the Devil card. Now, one of the big themes of the Devil card is lust. I will maintain that I don't believe that the average Cancer person, even a male Cancer, but especially not a female Cancer, is somebody who struggles with lust in a big way. Now, that is a very broad statement, and I'm sure that is wrong for some people for sure. Especially if you have an inner planet in Leo, like Mars in Leo especially, but could be Venus in Leo too. But the reason I say this is because Cancer is a water sign, so your emotional needs are very important to you. Not only having them fulfilled, but also being able to give love to somebody. And when somebody doesn't accept your love, when they do not want that level of relationship in the first place. And that can feel very upsetting. And so that's why I go back to that Nine of Wands. I think that you're setting boundaries about this. And you're doing so with an eye on what you want. And maybe you finally have gotten the memo that that's, like the Ten of Cups, happily ever after. I want happily ever after. Well, I'm getting a lot of impermanent, can you say impermanency? Impermanence. I'm getting a lot of things that don't really feel very fulfilling right now. So I'm laying down the law. And yet the Devil card is kind of like that sense of, what would I call it? Seduction and temptation. So maybe you need to recite the Lord's Prayer like once an hour. I don't know. Lead me not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. Oh, and by the way, the Devil card connects to Capricorn. So if there, Capricorn is your opposite sign. So there might be something with Capricorn as well. Not sure. What's coming in is represented by the Lover's card. Now, obviously, the Lover's card, we know that it can be... Oh, look at that. I was just going to say, back that ass up. But the Lover's card is really associated with intimacy. Not just physical intimacy, but obviously emotional intimacy. In some cases, that can indicate laying your... cards out on the table, pardon the pun. But the Lover's card is also a card of choice. So this may be the moment of truth, where you have to tell somebody in no uncertain terms how it's going to be, not asking them, will you do this or will you do that? And that might go back to that Nine of Wands. You might be finally fed up with a situation, and you're not going to hem and haw and hint anymore. You're going to really be straightforward. And if you get blowback, if you get any pushback from that person, you may make a choice, and it may be that you're going to take your life back. Excuse me. Because the outcome is the Chariot card, and this is about, grabbing the reins of the horse, which I always associate with the horse, the symbolism of the reins of the horse, gaining back control of your consciousness so that you can not only make better decisions, but you have the ability to direct your life as you wish to have it. This is a card of victory. It is your card, Cancer. So it points to you honoring yourself, I feel, but also regaining control of your life. And maybe you gave away your power and you lost your head for a little bit. You kind of like were a little bit into that lust over the love, and eventually it got old. Eventually you realized that it had its limitations, and now you're back in the driver's seat. So I'm glad to say that, and in any case, I hope that you received something from this. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below to my website. Take care. Bye.